episode of Techie World. I'm Cherry.
I'm Emerson.
I'm Roma.
And I'm Ace from Bataan Peninsula State University.
And we are the
Tech Buddies.
We use computer every day in our life for researching, social networking, and even for entertainment. Some of us just know the history and how this incredible gadget came in the past generation. But do you even know how to build your own PC? The answer will be discussed by my tech buddy. And now let me turn over you to Ace at Email for Help.
Muchas gracias. Our email for this week comes from Robin, an ACT student from Bataan Peninsula State University. He's asking about the different parts of motherboard and as well as the steps on how to assemble it. Here is the quick presentation that we prepared for you. Hope this can help you.
And now let's watch it. Let's feed our mind.
Before we start, we should foremost bear in mind some important reminders.
Selecting the proper workspace for your computer building project is very important. You need enough space to lay out all of your parts. And you need good lighting to see what you are doing inside the case.
Yes, partner. A large computer desk is a good area to work on, where you can have the parts all to one side. Another solution is a large kitchen table with overhead lights. You want to avoid working on the ground and especially the carpet because of the threat of static electricity.
You will need to have an ESD race strap handy or electrostatic discharge. This is the transferring of static electricity from one object to another.
But if you choose to work without a wrist strap, make sure to touch the case every time you start working on the computer to remove static electricity from your body.
Once you have selected your workspace, go ahead and lay out all of your tools and parts. We are ready to get started.
Won't you bear romance?
What it do? It's the boy T-Business. And what I'm about to give you right here is a burn exclusive, baby. Let's run that.
Love, 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 I want your love. I want your drama, the touch of your hair. I want your leather studded kiss in the sand. I want your love. Love, 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 I want your love. Love, love, I want your love. You know that I want you.
First, you have to check the computer parts like the casing in the motherboard. The casing has two classes, the AT and the ATX. And this one is an example of ATX. The motherboard has three levels. The barebone boards, single CPU slot with EID controller, and the dual processor boards. The processor, which also has three basic levels, the low end, the average, and the high end. Does it fit the hardware of your computer? Let's check the following. The board layout. We need to know what you will drive into this board to know if anything is in the way. Then the slot. We need to pay attention to show how many pieces of slot the motherboard has, and always remember to read the manual if it has. Then check the chipset. Pay attention to what chipset the motherboard has. Check the memory. Like this one. These are the memory. Always remember that operating system requires a large amount of memory. Built-in video card. The removable storage. The sound card. Check the cable and the system disk. This is the floppy cable. And these are the IDE cables. Next thing is to remove the case. Basically, you are just checking the cover of the case. Next step is to prepare the case. Go to the following checklist to make sure if it's prepared. First, clean the inside with a rag, like this one. Make sure that the part is free of dust. Then inspect the power supply. These are the power cables. Make sure it is properly attached to the case, free of dust and a voltage of 220 voltage for the Philippines. Then make sure that the power switch is properly connected to the power supply. And make sure that it has the case pan. Then we have the drive base. Choose the drive base you want to install.
The first thing is to be able to read the manual and understand what it is saying. It is very important so that you will not go to dump mistakes. This is the IDE primary slot, secondary primary slot, and this is the floppy slot. This one, the floppy cable, will insert here in the floppy slot. This IDE cable will insert here in the primary and secondary slot. First, open the zip socket. It is done by grabbing the lever on one side of the socket. You may need to pull the lever out of a bit before it will open. Then after that, make sure that all pins are straight up. If there's a couple of bent and not that much, you may be able to use long nose. And then, if it is okay and all the pins are straight up, insert the chip into the socket. Just close the lever when down. Make sure the lever is snapped into place. Attach the heatsink to place squarely on the top of the processor, pressing down lightly, and then double check it.
You should now install your memory modules. You need to make sure you have the right kind of memory for your motherboard, but you should have taken care of this already. First, decide which slot you are going to use and orient the memory module over it. The second step is to install the module. You have to install the lower memory